I wonder, Kipchumba, if we want to maybe hear from Kitete, and then yeah, I mean, I think what we were doing just now, that would be great, you know, like maybe after Kitete can share some about the aware, then yeah, having sort of what we're doing here, just an open chat where people can jump in and respond. But yeah, maybe we can hear from Kitete first.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we can hear now from Kitete.
Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. And do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Kitete.
Thank you. We are in Lamu County, coastal Kenyan, with my colleagues here from Aware. We have our elder here. Maybe we will start with our elder from Aware to say something, to say hi. And Kimayo, be ready for translation. He'll be doing Kiswahili.
Habari zenu, mimi ni Mohamed Alale kutoka kwa Aware,
from the Aware
vijiji tano, ndio nawakilisha.
I'm representing
shida ambayo eneo yetu ambayo imetukumba,
the problems that have devolved our region.
Ni kwamba sisi tulikuwa pahala tumetegemea, ilikuwa ni Lungi Forest.
It's that place we have been dependent on is Lungi Forest.
Na hiyo Lungi Forest saa hii imeenda kwa shirika ambayo inaita WWF, ndio ametoa supporter.
And that Lungi Forest have now gone to an agency called WWF.
Saa hii si yetu tena, imekuja imetolewa njia.
Now we no longer have control of it. We have lost control of it.
Saa hii tunaona hapo hatuna tena Lungi tena, tunaomba shirika wa kijamii watusaidie, watupe nguvu. Sisi jamii ya Aware hatuna uwezo wala hatuna nguvu yoyote.
We are now seeing that the Lungi Forest is no longer there. So we are asking the civil society to help us to give. We don't have strength now.
Twaomba usaidizi watupe hiyo Lungi angalau irudi kwetu.
We are asking for help so that the
Lungi
can remain under our control. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Kimayo, for your translation. Maybe to add something on Lungi, what was our elder saying is that WWF are the one who sponsored to our land Lungi Forest to be gazetted under KFS in year 2015. That's the matter we have been talking so that's the main agenda of our Aware community. Our community, they are crying for that forest because it was the only hope for our people. So although we have a lot of security issues in the forest now, and even we have a problem on education, we have problems on health matters. So we have a lot of problem which is caused by security issues in our region. So maybe I'll give my friend Yunus an opportunity to say something, maybe our culture and diversity of the area. So maybe we'll add something. Thank you.
Yes, good evening. As you have been told, I am Yunus Ishaq, here with Mohammed Kitete and my colleague as well. We want to tell you about a small history about our community. The Aware community are mostly hunters and gatherers. The minority Boni community in Lamu. According to the census 2019, the total number of the Aware community is 20,103. We are a Cushitic group. We are also having so many problems in our area on matters of land. One is security. Our community has been forced to migrate due to constant attacks by the Al-Shabaabs and other military groups, as well as the Kenyan forces, because once attack has happened, they have issues with us as community because they are saying that we might be in one way or the other aware of what is transpiring. But that's just on matters of security. But generally, all land around here were acquired fraudulently without following the due process or following public participation or such. Our community is very much marginalized. We've been using the land specifically for agricultural purposes. So, and as you are aware, sacred sites will be using for sacred sites and shrines. So currently the land has been taken away by national reserves, the KFS and others, as well as we are having a lapsed component around largest infrastructural development in Lamu in one way or the other that they may affect us. So we are calling upon friends and partners in the world to come and try see how we can turn around and help bring back the historical land injustice issue around. So with those few remarks, I think Mohammed can continue from there and add up some small issues around. Thank you, my colleagues. I was Yunus. I had to log out just because of some network problems.
Yes, thank you once again, Mr. Justin, Federico, and others, and my good friends from Elgeyo Marakwet, Emberwood Forest. I miss that place, Elias and Kimayo, but tuombeni Mungu so that we can get all our land back. Maybe I will stop there. If there is any question or clarification, please don't hesitate to ask me. I'm here for you guys. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. Thank you. Very nice to see you. And you too, Yunus. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I was wondering if there is any questions at the moment from both from you guys, Elias and Kipchumba, or also from witnesses about what Kitet and Yunus just shared. Okay, if right now don't know like any questions, what yeah, so it seems just reading from the chat that it would be quite nice to yeah, try to address I guess bring in also people that were just listening for now, which was also the idea all along, and you know, hear from them. I'm sure there are some questions among people that were they're listening at the moment. We but before we do that, I was going to show a video that Samuel is a Maasai leader from Ngorongoro in northern Tanzania, and unfortunately they were gonna unfortunately they're not gonna be here today because they're having some problems, but they send their greetings and they really wish they could be here, but they sent me a video about someone sent me a video that they made about a pilgrimage that they had just about a month ago, and the video is about this pilgrimage, and it's also about how the climate crisis or climate change is impacting specifically Loliondo and Ngorongoro, where Maasai and his colleagues and community members are based. So I think I will maybe share the video. It's quite short, so I will try to share my screen and audio. Let me see. I'm quite impressed about the technology. I think the network is working via Signal after the beginning. Okay, okay. I think I should be able to share now. I'm just happy that the network is working really well. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Just a second. I'm just gonna try to share my sorry, my computer is a bit slow. I'm actually having network problems now this time. Okay.
If you have issues, I can help you.
What, sorry?
If you need help, Dita and me are ready to support you and to step in.
Yeah, I think we just I think I just shared my sound. So let me know in the chat if you can see. Wait a second. Wait, let me just. I'm gonna try again. Sorry, there's others. If you have it ready and you wanna try to share it, that will also be great. Just because my
I'm happy to go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I think my laptop is not collaborating very much. But yeah, if you're happy to go, please go ahead.
Great.
I'm not hearing any audio.
Yeah, I think there's a few. Oh, perfect.
Was there something wrong?
I think it was the audio that I guess to make sure that when you share, you share the sound as well.
I thought I had picked that. Okay, let's try again.
Yeah.
I'll just go again from the start.
Nada ndogo nabo nirwagara dol tenakop ana baba bulu ewa halari ngole lewa ndogo na yi ormoronyi ni ganyankop nana kulo moronyi boyada aranga sairu gondo ina inter magos liya so jonguri moronyi na ro na ko naringi enebu Bagro jabo no kola ko sariba. Indaga raba giri arwa kulie. Na kwanga. Na ra kino singiri ngop. Leban.
Ara duondo na abo. Megure handung subi. Ne megure horgi sarbi. Ne megure helera ripi. Ara lega baganya alaba paili langa ga aro hindara ra gari meyo ganta.
Ore rara musungu ne bonu ne bu ngora na filamingo. Nige ya masa ngona maso hini gire bankai. Niki boro yaga daga mera glolo musungu na ko boro kai wore ngole be bonu ko namoro ko na film kamera niki ru radio mera raga na ko me ko bonu musungu.
Thank you, Teresa and Dita. Could everyone hear the audio? Was everyone able to hear it?
It was quite loud for me, yeah.
Yes. It was good.
Okay, great. And I'm also happy. I think someone would be more than happy for me to share the video with everyone. So I'll make sure to do that. If people, want to watch again, I'll share it with someone else. Great. I was wondering now, Justin, we've got quite a bit of time. So if we want, to try to, open the floor, also, to other people, and see if there are any questions or anything that people would like to share. And then both you, Kitete Yunus, and you guys, Kipchumba and Elias, you can, answer or or just jump in whenever you want.
That sounds great, Fede. Maybe we should go around the witnesses so that everybody can say something. I think that's what you're saying. And if it's a question, it's a question. And if it's somebody expressing how they feel or whatever else, then that's fine too. That make sense?
Okay. So do we want to try to go around, and then obviously if people would like to pass, that's obviously totally fine. Do we want to try to do that?
Just be great to hear other people's responses too. I think it's been amazing to hear the communities. Can I say one thing? Can I come in with one thing? Just, going back to Kiptuga's questions, because he had 3 questions around how come foreign governments accept the Kenyan government lying? How can the international community protect the lives of Sengwer leaders? And Kiptuga has been shot at by KFS, so he knows how much the lives are under threat, and Elias too. And then the 3rd question was, can foreign donors make the government listen to us? And I just think that shows such a strong awareness of where power lies in terms of politics and finance, and then the international community, which is probably where we are, which is people. So there's huge pressure, and the work that Fede has done and the work that Elias and Tete and all of you have done in terms of bringing pressure on WWF was really a breakthrough for me. That was a huge step that affected a lot of people who were campaigning in these issues, and affected a lot of people in the conservation world. And Sarah Cordova, who was part of that occupation of the WWF headquarters in the UK that Fede was part of organizing, she spoke on Monday to a lot of people around that. People were very, very strongly moved. So I think if we can change the understanding here in the West, in the North, that these conservation bodies are very often destroying people's lives and destroying lands because they are desperate to look good to the world but not actually to do the work that's needed, which is to support communities to take care of themselves and their lands. And that's a huge, huge step. So what Anahi was saying about us all giving each other courage is the big deal to do. That's what we're doing here, I feel. It's really supporting each other, but then we take action as well. So it's good to take heart and then let the heart take action. And when action is informed by strong hearts, then we can put pressure. And you did very well. The Sengwer did that very well with the EU water tower project. It was extraordinary what you managed to do. You stopped a 31 million euro project from happening. You have a lot of power, a lot of strength, and we all have a lot of power and strength when we connect in the way that Anahi was saying. So I just wanted to respond by basically saying Kiptuka has a very strong strategic sense of what's needed. He's seeing the politics, he's seeing the finances, he's seeing the communities and how to connect. And I feel like we can learn a huge amount from you. And we also want to really connect with you and support you. And then hearing about the Awer and that terrible eviction that happened, again with WWF supporting the process, it just makes it so clear that we need to not have conservation bodies controlling lands, but have communities being able to live in a way that takes care. I just needed to say that. Sorry, Fede, I had to say that before passing on, because I just it was bursting in me to respond and to appreciate all of you in what you're doing.
No, thanks, Justin. I mean, this is what we're here, to allow people, to share and respond to, according to how your heart is, telling you to. I wonder, Elias Kipchumba, if when people are speaking English for translation, if we should just ask people to speak kind of again in chunks so that you have time to translate. Or if it's but yeah, Elias Kipchumba, just let me know if you would like us to speak slowly or just in a few sentences at a time.
I don't see Kipchumba anymore.
Okay, I see.
Kimayo is there. And Kitete as well.
Okay, maybe
is Kimayo not? That's their video, isn't it? And Kipchumba's with them there.
Yeah.
So Kimayo is the community, Sengwer community, I think.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can keep going around and then if they, I can't see them anymore, but okay. Well, we can go around and then Elias and Kipchumba, if you can hear us, just let us know if you want us to go a bit slowly. Nice. Well, anyone else would like to go next? And again, no, don't feel pressured. You don't need to speak or share if you don't want to. But also if you want to share with us something brief, that's also very welcome.
I can go. It's every time I hear the stories of the Sengwer people, it really touches my heart in a very powerful way. And I guess the reason is because I believe that regeneration and the health of the environment needs people. I want people to be part of the environment. And the way that conservation seems to work around here and in the places that I've lived is that we want people to be separate. And I'll stop for a bit for translation. I forgot. And I have seen how forests are preserved by people in South America. So I do believe in that. I have seen how I behave when I am in nature, and I know I can be a steward and help nature stay healthier. So I want that to happen, and I feel really clueless about how to help. I want to have some agency in helping the Sengwer people to stay and the aware people to stay. And I don't know what to do. So I would like to ask them, how can I help you? How can we help you? People like me.
Thank you so much. I wonder if Kitete or Elias, if you would like to answer Dita's question around what can communities in for example here in the global north or wherever you are, actually we have lots of people from all over the world support your work and in your struggle.
Thank you, Federico. I think, is the question mine or please repeat.
Question's yours, Kitete.
Oh, sorry. Pardon. What was the question?
How can we help from here? How can we best help?
Thank you, madam. What we are trying to say, we need a lot of awareness to our community because, you know, we have a lot of problem like education and the people to know their rights. So we need more community awareness in our region. And even we need this matter of Boni Lungi, if it will be possible, to go to international court, if it is either Addis Ababa or Arusha. Because in Kenya, I don't think that we can get our rights back. I don't think, because when we ask Kenya Forest, they say the matter you are trying to say, we don't know. When we ask National Land Commission, they say, we don't know who took your forest. So everyone is saying, we don't know. So we need from you guys, if you can get help so that to go to the court, if it is Kenya or anywhere, so that we can get our right back, like our community. Thank you. I think I have answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
I wonder, Milka, if you can hear us, if you would like to also maybe share something in response to Dita's question.
Let's turn off our videos again. Milka, now you're muted.
Hello.
Anyone to confirm if they can hear me?
Now we can hear you, Milka.
So to answer to that, of course, is we know that the issue is not only about the communities not being known, but the real issue being taking advantage of such kind of systems. And I'm thinking that it's going to give us
I'm afraid you're breaking. It's really hard to understand you. Do you want to try again? Or should we hand back? Maybe we have to skip for now.
Milka is going to type on the chat.
Ah, great.
Nice, thanks, Milka. And yeah, thanks so much for everyone also being patient or participants with the mysteries of Zoom. I know it requires a lot of effort, extra effort, but I think it's working. But thanks everyone for being patient. I was trying to see if I can't see Elias and the Sengwer anymore, so they might have to jump.
Yeah,
Did they say? Yeah. Did they say anything? I mean, did they say if they were gonna, or did the connection just dropped?
I think the connection's dropped. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe I can double check while someone else goes. If they'll have plans to try to reconnect. In the meantime, does anyone else would like to share something?
I could say something.
Yes, please.
I guess I've been sitting here puzzling with the what do we do? How can we help? Question, because it's really heartrending to hear the stories that come from these communities, and to know, and it's also really aggravating to know that it's often organizations who are painted in a very good light here, who are at least partly responsible, if not wholly responsible, for what's happening. And I wonder whether, I think long term our aim here is to develop processes that are supportive to communities wanting to live as community in harmony with one another and the Mother Earth. That's what we're here to do, but that feels like a really long-term aim. It doesn't feel like it necessarily is going to help address this acute problem. And I wonder whether within the sort of small community that we have developed here, this round the world community, whether there's a way in which we could collaborate with one another around communities who have particular problems. And I don't know what that would look like. And I do know that there are indigenous kind of groups of indigenous people that exist in order to promote the interests and support the needs of indigenous people. But I also know that they don't necessarily always work. And I wonder, why the Sengwer are not getting more help from groups like that already. Not to blame anybody, but just that's all. I don't know. It's not much, but it's what I've been thinking. Kate.
Thank you. Napenda kuwasalimia wazee pale Kenya. The first thing I want to say is how much I respect the dignity with which you talk about the problems that you're facing. To me, there's so much reason for anger and right to be angry. And still you show confidence in government will partner with us, or appealing to government to partner. Nasimama kidogo hapa au naendelea?
Naendelea, tuko sawa. Keep
Aya,
going.
asante sana. Your confidence in the rule of law, that you can go to Arusha or you can go to Addis and get justice. And in the face of the experience that people with power have not given you justice for generations. And I would like to understand where you feel your resilience comes from. I suppose that's my big question, in the face of all that you've been up against and how many times you've been let down. And yet you still come, it seems to me, you come back with such dignity and such strength. You have something, and I'd like to understand more, if you don't find that a cheeky question.
The question belongs to me or?
Tunaweza kwanza na wewe, na labda baadaye wengine.
Oh, uliza tena swali, pardon please.
The question is about the dignity that you have. I'm sure Milka can help with translating resilience, but your power to come back with calmness and trust, perhaps in each other, perhaps in the power of law to support you. I'd like to understand more about that.
Well, we have an established community groupings and structure. We understand each other, and issues of such nature have previously been resolved. We have some what we call others have successfully done so. So we will use our structures and groupings to mobilize and calling for action. On matter of resilience, my friend Kitete had spoken about going to international courts because that's where we think we can get justice. Having in mind that several other people, groups have successfully lodged their complaint and got positive results. So our trust is bestowed on. I don't know if I have answered your question.
Yes, you have. Thank you. I'd just also like to say, I really like the way when in your community meetings, when you invite somebody to speak, there's a very gentle way of doing it. It's like if anybody has something to add or something else to contribute. It's not sisi kama wazungu, lazima ni, it's very sharp, very harsh to contribute effectively. That's what we are taught. But what I'm hearing from the way people talk in the community meetings in East Africa, it's much more respectful. So I think that, to me, that links with resilience as well.
Absolutely, yes.
Ilka has also answered.
Asante sana, Milka.
In the chat, maybe we can just read it loud. She said, our resilience is informed by our promise to protect our culture and more specifically our ancestors. The connection between the living and the ancestors is immeasurable. we are also very confident that we will win these cases legally. It doesn't matter how the policies are structured. We know we are right.
I think Milk also shared previously as a suggestion of what we could do, as you know, in a similar kind of grassroots self-reliant way. She said building a huge assembly that can call for accountability from all corners rather than being silent when white governments collaborate with those in the south to infringe on the rights of their own people.
Just to add one thing to that, that's in a way that's what happened in Kenya with the constitution. I think Milka and Kitete, that's with the 2010 constitution, that was a gathering of people, an uprising of people to say this has to change. And the constitution is very good. So whether it's recognized or not, there's the experience of people power, having put in a very, very solid constitution that leaves the power with the people in its words. And that's why I understand Milka saying she's sure they'll win. And in a sense, what you're describing there, Milka, is we need to do that globally. We need a global movement for a different constitution, not just a legal constitution, but a constitution of who it is to be human and how we are as communities and how we make decisions together. So what happened in Kenya was very powerful. The 2010 constitution was an extraordinary uprising and an experience that's quite recent of success against the elites. Is that right, Kitete and Milka? That's my sense from being there. And I read sure, and that's lovely because in my colloquialism, sure is like yes, sure, but I think you mean actually sure, like yes. I think that's what that means.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I can maybe add something, I think I like what Milka said about accountability, because you know the question, what can we do here? I think yeah, you know, kind of what the question that I can't remember the name, Justin, of one of the elders that from the Sengwer, they ask us those questions. Can't remember. Kipchuka. Where he was asking, you know, clearly, as Justin said, having a clear idea of where power lies and how power circulates in conservation projects, the fact that we have responsibilities and we need to be held, you know, accountable, not just because of the past and the history, especially in Kenya. You know, Kenya, a lot of the legal infrastructure that justifies or legitimizes these evictions is related to the fact that Kenya has inherited, for some parts, the legal tenure system, the legal management system that manages land and land tenure, and that has been inherited from the British colonial state. So, you know, this is just an example to say that not just because of the past, but also in terms of present, I think we need to be accountable to the fact that, first of all, a lot of the support, the practical and financial support to these conservation initiatives come from our governments, from organizations like WWF. They've got offices in the UK. WWF, for example, that, as Gita was saying, played a key role in the gazettement of their forests and therefore the evictions of the aware people. WWF receives a lot of funds from the public, from us. So, you know, there is already there, you know, like a big sort of area that we can work from here, in terms of, like, you know, understanding where power lies and understanding our role and responsibilities in making sure that also the climate movement in the UK that has been growing massively the past few years is aware that supporting that there is a distinction between sort of greenwashing and kind of like green colonial solutions to climate change, like, you know, carbon offsetting, like the UK government investing lots of money, for example, or the EU to the Kenyan government, like they were trying to do to offset carbon emissions, to make sure that countries here, like the UK, can continue to pollute by just paying someone else, another government, and other organizations in the global south to plant some trees, which often ends up with the eviction of like local communities. So here I think we have a responsibility to tell people in the climate movement, educate ourselves collectively to the fact that there is a distinction between eco-fascist narratives and justice-based, really transformative climate solutions, which in this case of conservation need to include community-led conservation, indigenous land rights. So yeah, I think there is a lot that we can do here at home, which reminds me a bit, it's a bit different from conservation, but it reminds me a friend of mine went to Rojava asking people in Rojava, like Kurdish rebels, what they could do, what we could do in the UK here to help them. And they asked them, how is the revolution going in the UK? And she was like, oh, we have no revolution. And they were like, yeah, exactly, that's the point, because power is so interconnected politically, economically, all over the world that there's definitely so much more that we can do here at home. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's wonderful. Can I, Anahi, were you wanting to speak? Or was that, yeah? And I was wondering after that, maybe we could just read from Milka's saying she's having to drop off, and then we could maybe close earlier, Fede, just, maybe that's because I've been going for 20 whatever hours, but yeah, Anahi.
Yeah, trying to be short, one thing that we did here in Chile when the COP was tried, but then was blocked, in the town of the people, we came together very close to, and many people joined, and we write, was a letter, Justin, it's similar when you talk about the Constitution. We write something that we managed that one of us could go and make it visible. And what I see that can happen with this situation is to make it visible, because the power, information is power. And what they try to do is to transform the narrative of the story of the forest they have. And what we could do with our social medias and you in Scotland close to the COP, to find a way to make the most visible possible this situation. So the power of the government there can go down, because it is a global, international new that this is happening. I believe this can be also some way to help. Mm-hmm.
Teresa, do you want to read the last ones from Milka? If my suggestion's a good one. And then I was wondering if we'd then come back at 5:45, which is what we said we would do. No? What do you think? We can discuss. Okay. Should we complete this first?
Yes, thank you, guys. Even my phone is running out of charge. Let me charge and come back, please. Thank you.
Okay, ciao.
So Milka says, very right. And this time around, a constitution that is not informed by how much educated however is to put it together. One that reminds us humans that we are not any better than other creations on the planet. Every existing thing is important, and we should be reminded to respect them. How people don't see the connection between ourselves and our lands, our ancestors, the trees, the waters, and so on is strange. I will drop off really soon. My battery is running off. That's what she said.
Thank you. Fede.
I wonder if before we finish, someone that hasn't spoken yet, if they would like to say something. Thank you, Milka. And yeah, if you have to go, Milka, if your phone dies, thanks so much for coming and sharing.
I want to say something about Data's comment, Data's chat comment. I think, you know, I live in Sweden, and Sweden is really famous for lakes and forest, but most of the forest are industries forest. There is really few natural forests. So even the people in Sweden, I don't know how much they understand how important the natural forest and forest is. And so I think that's why the connection is missing with Mother Earth. That's why the things we are doing hasn't been very powerful enough, because people lost the connection. That's what I'm feeling all the time. Yeah, that's it. And I don't know what to do, but I think keep talking is the way. Yes, thanks.
I liked Milka's comment of a big assembly, an undeniable assembly, because I liked it, because that's what this is supposed to be the start of. So maybe we can help. Maybe we are doing our first steps towards really helping.
Yeah, maybe I should go back, because I guess I'm maybe a bit tired as well physically right now. I know that every little helps. I do know. It's just, you know, I sit here with a view, talking to people, telling them about what's happening, but my house is not being burned. And that's what really gets me. That's it. And I know every little helps, and it's not up for me to rescue anyone, and it just feels not enough. Sorry.
I guess I'm amazed at how strong Kiptuga and the others are, and Milka and the others, and it's like they're not victims here. They had their homes burnt, and they are really, and Kiptuga's been shot at, and Elias had his leg smashed, and you know they've been viciously treated, but they don't let themselves be victims. They are strong, and they're really well in themselves, and they're very heart connected, and they're very, you know, it's like our compassion is good and strong to have, but just to remember that they are, you know, I remember walking from Transylvania into Austria decades ago in a peace walk, and in Transylvania people were very poor, but they were very alive, and you could see the color in the faces and all the rest of it. And then you get into Austria there, and suddenly all the color was drained into the big adverts, which were just big bright colors, and the people were like pallid, you know, the way that people are here. And it was just like, whoa, okay, these people are poor, but they've got that wealth, and these people are rich, but they're impoverished. So I'm not disagreeing with you at all, I'm just bringing the other bit of the truth in there, which is like, they're really wonderfully well, as well as being up against the machine. But I guess it's the machine we're all up against, and we're realizing we are here in a way that they've known they have been all this time. So we're catching up. We need to catch up with our hearts, like Anahi's been insisting, as well as catching up with our understanding. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, it's a very good reminder. And I'm not being stubborn. I think the emotion I feel now is not so much compassion for them, but rage, really pure, right anger at people doing what they're doing. So it's if anything, I should feel compassion for the people doing that to them, because I'm sure there's a big trauma behind that. And I'm really happy that I'm not touching that compassion. I really want to just bathe in that rage and anger, because sometimes there is right anger, and I think this is one of them. And that's not going to stop me doing what I'm doing and trying to find out other things. It's just there. And the little girl in me just wants it to stop.
So you were suggesting that we might take a break, Justin? Or
yeah, Fede was just checking whether
half an hour.
Fede was checking whether Liz or Ian would like to speak. I heard him doing it gently. I'm not doing it so gently. I'm doing it more directly. Apologies. And if you don't want to, that's absolutely fine. It was just making. I heard him making that space, and I appreciated it. and I was wondering whether we take a break then, if not. But I'm open to. We can. I mean, obviously, we decide what we do. We said we would reconvene at 5:45, but it will be us reconvening. These people here. It may be one other person, and that would be the only reason to do what we said we'd do, which is to reconvene then. So, what would you like? Would you like to? I would like to do that. I would like to stop and then come back, but we can all be in different places. It's fine to disagree. That's a welcome thing.
I think I will say something. It's really, really hard to be a witness to this. I mean, I'm finding, like, I suppose humility and it's there's a sense of awe. I'm feeling the sense of awe, and also a sense of, you know, I haven't said anything because I don't know what to say, and maybe that's speaking for a lot of people, you know, of this really challenging question of what do we do, how do we do it, how do we respond to something that in my previous experiences has been at such a distance. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. I feel the impact of the question. I feel uncomfortable. Troubled. So maybe that's one of the positions of the witness, is to feel moved, uplifted, and shocked, and humble, and enraged, and not knowing where to put those kind of feelings. And sort of honoring that they're my feelings, and there's something important and critical happening. So add in the, you know, what do we do with the emotional response? That question, what do we do? What do I do? I know it's an honor to hear other folk and to witness and to feel their people's reality. I'll stop. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you.
For some reason, I'm jumping into problem-solving mode. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm just really tired. my two suggestions. One is they have a lovely thing in at least Chile called the Minga, where everyone goes around to one person's house to help out with a job, and it's just a take on what I said before. Is if this is a kind of international community that we've created, could we not have a Minga for the Sengwer? And my other suggestion was that we find the boss of WWF, we find their house and we burn it down. Because
hug him.
When I was thinking about it, you know, it's like you would be sent to jail. That's criminal damage. You would be seen as a homicidal maniac for attempting to do that. And it kind of put in perspective for me what's happening to the Sengwer on a regular basis. You know, it's like I wouldn't consider burning somebody's house down. It's an outrageous thing to do.
I feel both of those are really good suggestions. No, I do. I feel like the first one, which is that Fede doesn't go by himself in January, but he goes with about 45 of us. You know, there's a kind of like it's a very different thing when a whole community arrives somewhere. There is something in that feels very moving for me. Partly because I've gone by myself so often, or with one other person. The idea of going with with many good-hearted people is very good. And then the idea of burning somebody's house down when nobody's there and you've made sure it's all safe. I mean, you know, you're very careful so nobody's hurt. Oh, maybe burning down the office. I love that idea. That's a great idea. I mean, that's exactly what's happening. I think that's a great idea. Not maybe it's the office rather than the house, but there is something really stark that needs to happen. And I remember when the Sengwer stopped at World Bank, it was because we threatened to project burning Sengwer homes onto the side of the World Bank building in America. And the World Bank staff were so ashamed, talking to their families, talking to their friends, that they were going to be seen to be doing this, that there was huge pressure within the bank to pull the money and not continue. So there is something about showing the equivalence that feels really important to me. So yeah. I feel like we're kind of moving into the closing bit though, and